Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So in today's video I have something a little bit different for you guys. If you guys know my Behind the Voice series where I basically go in depth with some of the voice actors in Apex Legends, you guys will probably like this series that I'm starting right now, and that is meeting the developers who created Apex Legends. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys some of the developers who created the best moments in Apex Legends, including the new Season 6 point of interest, the new Fight or Fright game mode that you guys know is coming out tomorrow, and so much more. I'm super excited to make this video for you guys because I personally love everything that has been added to Apex Legends, in the last couple months, and I really just got to give a huge shout out to these developers who are spending, basically every waking moment trying to make this game as good as it possibly can be. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. We're gonna start off with kind of like the origin story of Respawn Entertainment, and that links back to Vince Zampella, who is the founder of Respawn. Now, Vince Zampella was actually one of the original two founders for Infinity Ward, which was a subdivision company under Activision. Infinity Ward also created Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, which in my opinion are two of the best Call of Duty games that have ever been released. Now, after the release of COD 4, Vince Zampella and Jason West actually began contract negotiations with Activision to start working on Modern Warfare 2. Vince and Jason agreed to deliver Modern Warfare 2, but in exchange from Activision, they wanted a large bonus and basically creative control over the entire Call of Duty series, because at that time, Infinity Ward didn't believe that Activision could properly run the Call of Duty series. They didn't like the way that they were taking their games, so Infinity Ward wanted full control over the Call of Duty series. Activision actually agreed to this, but added a clause in the contract that if Vince or Jason were fired, then the rights to the Call of Duty series would actually fall back to Activision. A couple months after, Vince and Jason were released from Activision as they wanted Infinity Ward to basically be an independent company and not be run by Activision whatsoever. And then this led both Vince and Jason to form Respawn Entertainment in April of 2010. Afterwards, many other Infinity Ward employees resigned to join Respawn, including one of the developers that you guys may know, Jason McCord, who's the design director for Respawn Entertainment. As I mentioned before, he also worked with Vince Zampella on Modern Warfare 2 at Infinity Ward. If you guys don't know what the actual definition of a design director is, he basically owns the project's design challenges and translates creative vision into mechanics, systems, and player experience. You guys probably know Jason as he plays a huge role in community interaction just on Twitter, and he's also the one that writes up all of the patch notes that we see online. So he kind of has a very big overseeing function in all of Respawn. He doesn't really work on one specific thing, rather he helps out in a lot of different areas. But moving on to actually some more specific roles in Respawn, we have Jake Keating, who is the senior designer. He actually played a huge role in revamping the Fight or Fright game mode into what we now know it as Shadow Royale. Well, when I upload this video, Shadow Royale will not actually be out yet, but if you guys are playing Shadow Royale during this video, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of it, because Jake Keating had a huge role in not only designing that, but he's also one of the main developers who worked on probably one of the best campaign missions for any game ever, and that is the Effect and Cause mission from Titanfall 2. If you guys didn't play Titanfall 2, this was a mission in the campaign where you used a time gauntlet to jump back and forth in time in order to discover the real reason that the IMC was on the planet Typhon. So not only has he had some huge roles in Apex Legends, but he also had a huge part in creating one of the biggest missions from Titanfall 2. So I thought that was really cool when I actually found that out. But moving on, we have at Yampish. I don't actually know what his real name is, but on Twitter he's known as Yampish, and he is a game designer for Respawn. Now, if you guys don't know, game designers are basically the programmers that make the game function and entertaining, while game artists are the ones who actually add the visuals and make the game look good. So Yampish had a huge role in creating the Flashpoint LTM. I'm pretty sure he was one of the only people that was actually working on this limited time game mode for the last couple of months. Flashpoint is definitely one of my favorite LTMs so far, so that's definitely really cool that he's one of the main guys that helped to create that limited time mode. He's also the same developer who originally pitched crafting to Respawn back in December 2019, and ever since then he's been working on the crafting system up until Season 6, which, as you guys know, is when crafting was released. So Yampish had some huge roles in Apex Legends specifically, but moving on, we're going to talk about Alex Grainer, who is a level designer over at Respawn. He helped to create one of the biggest point of interest in Apex Legends, which is Mirage Voyage on World's Edge. I think a lot of people were upset when Mirage Voyage left in Season 6, but I do believe either in Season 7 or maybe even Season 8, Mirage Voyage will return either on World's Edge or whatever new map we might be getting. He also worked very closely with Jake Virginia to bring most of the Season 6 map changes that we've seen seen on World's Edge. And I'm going to quickly switch over to Jake Virginia, who is a principal artist for Respawn. Like I mentioned before, he led the map update for Season 6 and helped to create all of the new point of interest that we got on World's Edge, including, the big giant Hammond Robotics rocket that we see in the corner of the map. He's also the one that created the Harvester in World's Edge. So Jake Virginia had a lot of work done specifically in Apex Legends. But moving on, we're going to talk about Davis Stanley, who is actually the senior designer over at Respawn. He had a huge role in creating one of the biggest town takeovers that we've seen so far, and that is the Crypto Town Takeover on Kings Canyon. He's also the one responsible for designing the Season 5 map changes in Kings Canyon, as well as creating the charge towers that we first saw in Season 5. So I'm going to leave a link to all of these guys' Twitter down below. We have a couple more developers that I want to talk about because they had some big impacts just in Apex Legends in general. Let's first talk about Mike Dernhofer, who is the software engineer over at Respawn. He was actually tasked with getting the rendering/UI code to work for creating legend banners. I'm actually going to show you guys one of his first working versions of an animated banner in Apex Legends, and as you guys can see, this is very different from the banners that we actually have right now. It's really cool to see how it looked when the game first started compared to how it looks now, which is obviously just completely different and much more professional looking. Next up, I want to talk about Moey, who is one of the principal animators for Respawn Entertainment. You guys might also know Moey because he runs a YouTube channel called Tooncraft, where he makes a ton of really cool just Apex Legends animation and content. Moey also posts a ton to his Twitter, basically going over how a lot of the Apex Legends animations are made in game. They use something called motion capture, where they basically, hook you up with all of these cameras and just different motion tracking devices, and this helps the animators to use human movement to create animations in game. And this is one that they did for Watson. It's really cool to see how you can, basically tell that the exact movement that the person is doing is what it turns out to look like in game. We have another one here where they're actually testing Rampart's animation specifically for one of Rampart's finishers. I mean, I've never actually seen anyone do motion capture before, and it's just cool to see all of the things that you have to do behind the scenes to actually create some of the animations that we get in Apex Legends. We also got another super early concept of Revenant from Moey. This is actually what Revenant was originally supposed to look like, where while he was crouching, he would actually grow 2 more hind legs and look like some sort of weird transformer when he walked. Honestly, it was kind of creepy when I first saw it, but this would have been a very cool design to be added for Revenant. Apparently, it was a little too over-engineered, so they couldn't actually work with this concept. And as you guys know, Revenant just gets down on 2 legs now when he crouches and is able to walk a little bit faster. So it was really cool to see all of the behind the stuff for most of the animations that we got in Apex Legends. But to end this video, I want to talk to you guys about both Ashley Reed and Tom Cassiello. Both Ashley and Tom are writers for Apex Legends, and they were actually both recently promoted to senior writers for the studio. They helped to create the narrative in Apex Legends that we see in quests, voice lines, as well as just in gameplay storytelling. Tom Cassiello actually recently tweeted that he's been doing an insane amount of work on the lore up until Season 9. So both of these writers have a ton of work to do. I'm assuming they're already probably done with all of the lore for Season 7 and both Season 8. So it's really nice to see that they're actually working on, stuff for Season 9, which is probably not going to be coming out till, the beginning of next year. So I'm definitely super excited for everything that's coming into Apex Legends, and I really did enjoy, making this video showing you guys some of the specific work that these developers did for Apex Legends. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video and if you guys want me to make this a continuing series, make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and leave any feedback that you guys have down in the comments below. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day. Peace out.